What up, TCG Meta Slayer? Alright guys, I am here today. I want to start doing more Dragon Ball videos. Hopefully, I have a lot of decks, guys. A lot of decks. This game is awesome. But I want to start with my Gohan starter deck because it's a relatively new deck, and I think it's a great deck for people to pick up and start playing with. It gives you a great idea of how the game works, and it just gives you a lot of options because being able to play a multicolored deck, you know, the full spectrum, excuse me, in this game is pretty rare. Especially since over the last 2 years they've kind of shied away from the multicolor sets. They did kind of bring back the Red Blue Invoker with Android 17 with Power Absorbed, so that's pretty cool. So maybe we'll be seeing more of that in the future sets. But this one again is a 4-color spectrum deck. The leader is green. Keep that in mind. The leader is green, but since Gohan does have the Warriors of Universe 7 permanent, that means that when you play a Universe 7 card, you could ignore the color requirement. So instead of costing, 2 green and an additional energy for a total of 3, you just spend 3. And then we're also going to get into his power, his ability in just a second. Okay, so that being said, Gohan also has this really cool ability to where if you spend a yellow or a black, if you have 3 or more energy, you can now just play a 3-cost Universe 7 by spending only 1 yellow or 1 black. All right, and then if you have the red or the blue, you can then play a card from under a Z battle card. Let's grab this. Under a Gohan Adolescence, if you have a Z battle card and it has a Z stack, if there's a card underneath it, as you can see here, a Z battle card that is not Gohan and it costs 2 or less, you can play it from underneath them. So I think starting with this, let me start by explaining that ability. Very good for this deck thematically, and also I think moving forward as they release more cards, it's a really cool mechanic. So let's go ahead and get into that really quick. So it comes with a complete Z deck of 7 cards to take advantage of that in 2 ways. Number 1, you have these 2 Son Gohan Master Student techniques, and you have Piccolo Master Student techniques. Then you have this Frieza Unexpected Assistance. So let me also start by saying that I'm going to show you guys, this is the starter deck basically with 1 or 2 added cards. I don't have all of them out here, but this is from the starter deck. And then I'm going to show you guys a bunch of cards that I've been collecting to complete that whole Universe 7 theme. And then to kind of consider if you want to build like either budget casual or you want to start going a little bit more competitive and a little bit more pricey. I'm going to show them all out here. That way you guys can start looking at the cards, and I want to promote you guys to start thinking about how you would brew the deck. And then in the future video, I'll show you guys where I am with a competitive build. And then, that way you know also where to go casually. So that being said, though, I definitely want to play a lot with this deck. And I'm going to stick to the Z Battle card deck here. But I will show some options again in a future video. But anyways, the main reason why is because, like you saw, he has an ability that works so great with this starting set of Z Battle cards. So really quickly, the mechanic here. Really quick. The mechanic here is really thematic, and I think it's going to be powerful moving forward to see something like this happen, and even to play with this deck where you bring out a Gohan, right, which has a Z stack of 2, and then you're going to stack your Piccolo, and then you're going to stack your Frieza underneath. Okay, so this Frieza is okay. It's a blocker, it doesn't have deflect, or barrier, but again, it's really cool to use this ability. So what you're going to want to bring him out with is this ability, and then you're going to want to basically just have a blocker that they have to get rid of, or you can basically get a free negate. So also, let me preface by saying this is not a super aggressive deck. Maybe it can be built that way, but this definitely seems like more of a kind of early on defensive deck, and possibly somewhat more of a mid-range deck that also packs a punch end game, right? That's the strategy it wants to go with. So you're gonna have to consider how to go up against other late game and end game decks, and also how you want to handle like earlier and faster aggressive decks and aggressive mid-range decks. Okay, so anyways, he's good because he fits the requirement here to Z stack 2 cards under Gohan, and then you can later on play him as a blocker. The second card you're gonna Z stack is the Piccolo. And so what's going to happen here, what's really cool, is that these guys are going to kind of switch back and forth because his Activate Battle Limit 1 lets you swap him basically underneath your Piccolo. And the cool thing is, any kind of damage or effect or anything that's targeting him is going to fizzle because he's no longer going to be a valid target. And since he's not a target, that effect basically just goes away. Really cool. Then now you have Piccolo out here. And then cool thing about Piccolo is when you get him out, when you swap him, you can basically hit something from minus 20,000 power, probably destroy one of their battle cards or something, or weaken their leader. Oh no, it's only a battle card, sorry. So you're gonna basically get to destroy one of their battle cards. And then cool thing is, if you have, and with both of these, again, you have to have the 4 or more colors, sorry. But anyways, then you can swap back, essentially, is what you're gonna start doing. Okay? So you can do that activate main on your turn, and you can do this activate battle on your opponent's turn, or you can still do it on your turn. You can still attack, activate battle, then activate main, switch back once per turn, and then, that's really cool because you can decide on how you want to use it on your turn or, again, on your opponent's turn. He is a blocker, so that's why you also want to block it, basically, fizzle out their attack, and then just go boom. So really, really cool, very thematic, and also it's actually quite a useful ability. They don't have barrier. If they had barrier, they'd be super strong. But either way, if your opponent does manage to take them out, you have at least two more in your Z deck. So really, really good. A good way to start to again build that defense and force your opponent to use resources on these guys. Otherwise, you're gonna just keep taking advantage of this ability to swap back and forth, right? So really cool. Now, to go over the rest of it really fast. Keep in mind though, when you do build this deck, like I mentioned here with the 4 or more energy of all the spectrum colors, is you want to build a good ratio of everything: green, yellow, blue, red, and black, right? Because if you build too much in one color and you don't have anything in another color, then you're not going to be able to use the ability consistently. So keep that in mind. So here's all the cards that the deck comes with. The new cards in the starter deck are these 3 here, which work together to like KO something, put something back, I think, under the deck. And then, of course, this is one of the searchers that lets you go through top 5 for Universe 7. And then when you have this 18, it lets you play her as a shortcut when you have him in the drop. It also comes with this other Goku, really cool, because it plays also for 1. And it lets you also search, but only your top 3. But it lets you search for any Universe 7. So you can grab like Goku Strength of Legends. You can grab something that costs 4, like this Saiyan of Universe 7. I did swap this in for starter deck. I think this is going to be a good budget option, but again, I'll talk about that in another video. So that being said, this is mostly everything that comes from the starter deck. And to finish it off, some cards that you really, really want to look at. Let me do this. So let me first talk about the budget options. So this is definitely a budget option you want to put in there. You want to also put in the Dynamic Blow Vegeta, because you want black sources, right? And then also let me say Homicidal Clones is great because, your leader is green. So this is the only kind of like negate clone token or blocker token card you can play with from extras. This also comes with a Shocking Death Ball. So when you play extra cards, you have to make sure they say if your leader is green, right? You can't play ones that are like if your leader is yellow or red. Okay, so some more budget options here. We have Focus Mind Son Gohan. We also have, let me do this really quick. Some more Destructo Discs. Let me see here. Okay, actually, there's actually really not many more budget options. It was just these 2. So let me just go over the rest of the cards you need in this deck for sure. So, because some of these are kind of pricey. So Enraged Eminence Vegeta, critical, Universe 7, of course, black. This guy is really, really strong if you get to pull him out, with the Gohan ability for 1, dual attack, critical, some more Gohan Strength of Legends, Vegeta Strength of Legends, because again, you can take advantage of both of these guys with the Spectrum abilities. So really, really cool. And you might have seen a second ago too, the Frieza Universe 7 United. This is an amazing blocker too, keeps coming back and forth, and he has the barrier. So that's really great. And Son Goku, Hope of Universe 7, along with the Spirited Contender. This is also another great thing to get because this guy has barrier. A little bit more difficult to get this combo out, but I want to start, experimenting with it to see whether it's more, casual thematic or if it can be played competitive. But yeah, once you EX evolve over, this lets you draw 2, then this lets you EX evolve over a 5 Goku, discard 2, but now you have a triple attack, critical, and each time you attack, your opponent has to choose one of the cards in their hand. You actually get to choose one and make them discard it and put a battle card in the, drop. So it's almost like a secret rare. Really, really, really nice. Rumshi's a good unison to put in this deck, also to fill up yellow cards, because he can empower And when he empowers, you can basically, with 4 markers, you can basically destroy everything on the board. So I want you guys to think about that. Here comes a Shocking Death Ball, Preemptive Strike, and also Wrath of the Dragon are great green extras to go up against things like Android 21. And a lot of decks are playing very powerful cards that you want to basically start counterplaying that don't have deflect, you know, Z battle cards. So I hope Bandai keeps a good balance because it feels like, you know, last year everything had deflect. So I think with the new cards coming out that are powerful but don't have deflect, that's a good balance. So I want to keep seeing some more of that. Okay, so jumping to this side, you definitely want to play SSB Kaioken Son Goku because this guy is another one that basically destroys everything possibly, because it says here you can choose all your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less and KO them, and you can play that for only 1 yellow or black energy thanks to Shkabam when he's awakened, right? Otherwise, he also just spends 2 red to have you discard him so you can hit a barrier card and give it minus 25,000. Ultra Instinct Son Goku, this is a great tech card to put in the deck. Again, as it goes towards the mid-range and late game, you'll have a lot of, when you have energy unrested, right, because of this decreased ability here, you can sit back and like play a threat and then you can be defensive. And your opponent is like, oh my gosh, does he have an extra card, a counterplay? Does he have an Ultra Instinct Son Goku? Like they won't really know, right, when you have 4 energy. Another one, here's another Ultra Instinct. Yeah, these are the other ones here. And I think that's pretty much everything. Oh yeah, and then for yellow unisons, the reason why I have the Rumshi is this combo here with Android 18. The deck is going to kind of lean a little bit with yellow, but that's fine because there's still plenty of green, blue, red. And again, as long as you have, I guess, 8 black cards is my thought here, 8 to 10, then you'll be able to also make sure you get the black. And with her, this is the good thing is because her ability, right? Her ability is you get to look at the top 3 and rearrange them, and then you can -2 to draw 3 cards and put 2 back. So this is going to be a really cool way to basically set up your deck to have more control over what you draw. So that makes it really good. And as you can see, that's a cool defensive package right there, and also a good way to make sure you smooth out your draws. Then, of course, you can use Senzu Beans. You can also play Mafuba. You have access to blue extra cards. And yeah, so there you guys go. That is my starting collection of cards that you should definitely be looking at to play this deck. And again, I'm approaching it from the perspective of more of a defensive mid-range deck. So there you guys go. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Are you trying to build it maybe more aggro, more offensive? How have you been enjoying your deck, whether you're playing it casual or competitive? Let me know. And then soon I'll be coming back with some more videos, an updated deck list. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget, keep your faith, say a prayer, spread that love, be positive, be thankful. We'll be coming back at you. Peace.